Okay. Excuse me. Welcome back to Lenz's Comic Corner Classic Lessons and Classics. This is episode number 1779 and Doubleshot number 1673. Got two DC trades. First up is technically I should not be reviewing this one already, but I have it. Why not? It's the third trade from one of the most popular weekly series ever published by DC Comics. Released in 2006. You might be thinking, really? You're reading that one? Cool, Nick! That's awesome! 52! This, of course, is book 3, collecting issues. If I can find the thing here. I think it's like 27 to 39. And you're thinking, why the heck you started with this one for? Like, why not start at the very beginning? Well, the shop I got this from didn't have the first volume, so there's that. Yes, 52, the weekly series, published from 2006 to about 2007. Yes, the thing with this series is that, excuse me, after the events of the crisis, there was a 1 year time skip. This book pretty much explored what the regular DC universe was up to during the 1 year time skip. Well, people were not. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Arrow. Yeah, they're absent. Yes, and the Justice League is supposedly disbanded at this point, though they're trying to reform a new Justice League. Plus, this book here has appearance by the Infinity Incorporated. And you think, is this the version created by Roy Thomas? No, this is the version Lex Luthor basically created. Yes, and they even briefly had an ongoing series. This version, anyways, they only lasted 12 issues. Basically, the purpose of this version was that in-universe, Lex had bought the names of the Infinity Incorporated, the people who were part of the original group, and gave it to some random strangers. Their mentor in the book was, in fact, John Henry Irons, a.k.a. Steel. And the thing was, in the book itself, I read it. It felt like the book was more of a John Henry Irons book than basically Infinity Incorporated. Yeah, that's the simple, basically, thing with this one. Yep. We also have this guy here. Yeah, this weird guy. That's actually Booster Gold under that mask because, well... Now, the thing is, Dan Jurgens is nowhere in this book. Now, on the cover, who's on this really cool cover? Well, this here is the Infinity Incorporated was talking about. We have Lex Luthor on the cover. You might be thinking, who's the guy with the cloak? That's the Spectre. Yes, I believe this is still during a period of time where he had no hostess before Christmas Allen took up the role as... Actually, I think his name was just after because I think he took up the role just after the Crisis because the previous host was Hal Jordan. He gave up... He basically... The Spectre abandoned Hal Jordan when he was resurrected. On the cover front and center is, in fact, Batwoman. She's here for a good period of time. At one point, she runs into Nightwing in these issues, where she actually... Oh, yeah, they even have a thing where Nightwing admits, oh, yeah, I've been thinking for redheads, except that Kate Kane is not interested in him at all. You want to know why? Because she's a lesbian. Yep. Now, I should point out that this is not the original Batwoman. Oh, no. This is basically the niece of the original one who made a debut back in the 50s. Yes, this is sort of via some retconning. Grant Morrison brought back that version where, yeah, they kind of retconned it where the Kanes were actually, it was actually Martha's maiden name, Kane. So basically made Kate Kane Batman's cousin. And the thing is, that was only there in the post-Flashpoint stuff, which I don't have a problem with that. Now, Red Tornado's in these issues. Now, he's sort of a figure of this book. Now, they also have stuff in here with Starfire and her group of people with also include like Lobo, Captain Carrot, Captain Comet, Captain Comet, Adam Strange. A lot of really cool stuff here. Like, if you're a fan of mid-2000s DC, you would love to get your hands on this book. I will eventually get the trade to collect the rest of this thing. I know there's a new printing of 52 that was released not that long ago. The problem is the trade itself is like $40. I'm not kidding about that. The new trade is like $40. But next book basically is another weekly book, but it's the first trade of that series. I have technically reviewed the first one for that one. By the way, I give this book a 9.5. Basically, I'm going to give this a 10. I think it's just a really good series. The writers of this book are quite obvious. Grant Morrison, Jeff Johns, Keith Giffen, Greg Rucka, and Mark Waid. Yep, those are your writers for these issues. The artists, oh my gosh, there's a lot of them on here. Now, Jeff Johns, Grant Morrison, Greg Rucka, and Mark Waid, they are the primary writers of this book. The artwork is done by Keith Giffen, Chris Batista, Joe Bennett, Tom Derrick, Jamie Ingle, Phil Jimenez, Drew Johnson, Dan Jurgens, Sean Moe, excuse me. Excuse me. Patrick Opie, Joe Perito, and Andy Smith. Great book. Love it. I'll eventually get my hands on the very first shred to collect issues in this series, but that was in the future. Well, here's the first trade of a series that was released in 2014. A book that, to this very day, is considered to be the worst of the weekly series. Yes. Actually, it's considered almost as bad as Countdown. To date, DC has done more weekly comic books than Marvel has. Marvel has only done one, Wolverines, a series that was never finished. Nope, they never finished the story. Whatever story Charles Shaw was trying to tell the book, couldn't finish it because Secret Wars. Yep, that was simply the reason for that. This book was released not long after Batman Eternal was released, and released just prior to Earth 2 World's End. Everybody has seen Linkara's review of this series. I own the first trade for this now, and I own the third one. I do not own the second one yet. When I get the second one, I will get my final thoughts on this series at that point. And I've already reviewed the one-shots. So, all that's left for this event, this particular thing, is just a series. And you're probably saying, Nick, get on with it. What book are you reviewing? New 52 Futures End Volume 1. Written by Brian Azzarello, Dan Jurgens, Keith Giffen, and Jeff Lemire. Yeah, it's weird though, the fact that two people work on this book also worked on 52. Yes, Brian Azzarello. I believe this is the only weekly book I can think of he ever did. Now, there's been a total number about 7 weekly comic series that were limited series. I'm not counting for Action Comics and Detective Comics because those were regular ongoing that were briefly turned weekly. Now, the first one they did was, of course, 52, then Countdown, then Trinity. This, of course, was the original Trinity comic, not the one published as part of Rebirth. That was a complete different comic. That was an ongoing series, a 52-issue weekly series. This book was basically... Now, was there a lead-up to this one? Kind of, anyways. By the way, this book collects the first 17 issues plus issue 0, which is the free comic day issue. I actually got that when it came out. And can you actually believe it has been 8 years since this event came out? Yes, 8 years for a 48-issue comic book. Yes, seriously. Now, the one thing this book basically a lot of people can agree on is that it had very good artwork with it. Didn't much of consistent writing, but it did have really good artwork with it. The artwork was done by Ethan Van Sciver, Patrick Zurcher, Dan Jurgens, who also co-wrote the book, Mike Irwin, He's Moreno, Dan Green, Aaron Lepsey, met this guy, Art Teberchi, Scott Eden, Drew Grucci, George Ginty, and Cam Smith. Apparently, Keith Giffen was an art consultant in this book, which is kind of weird. The cover art here is by Ryan Snook. Now, other people who work in this book, I officially have met at least 2 people who work in this one. Dan Jurgens and Aaron Lepsey. And that's it. Now, introduced in this particular book here, there are many different plot threads introduced here. Take, for example, the stuff with Batman Beyond. Yeah, book starts off with In the Batman Beyond Future. Well, one of the many alternate versions of Batman Beyond, where Brother Eye has taken over the world and turned the superheroes into cyborgs. Here's a good example for you. Frickin' plastic. Yes. The only one technically was after a cyborg was Frankenstein's monster. What did he have? Basically, that was disgusting. He apparently decided to remove the face of Black Canary and sewed it at his damn chest. Yes, seriously. And I agree with the opinion about the Free Comic Day issue. It is terrible. My gosh, this book is bad. Well, the artwork is actually pretty good. Good job with the artwork. The writing is terrible. Like, my gosh. Oh my. And so, Terry McGinnis is Batman Beyond, obviously. Yeah, and then we have like various people who are turned cyborgs, like Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash. Like, in the case of Superman, how? He's a freaking alien. And he's turned into a freaking cyborg with spider legs. Like, what the heck? Here's Wonder Woman. Yes, that is freaking Wonder Woman in this stupid continuity. Yes, seriously. And the whole point of this book is to prevent this stupid future. Like, here's the Flash, where he's an old man. And look at these people who are spider legs. Here's the disgusting, I'll show briefly, of Black Canary on Frankenstein's chest. Blue Beetle's here, well, older version. Heck, Jon Stewart's here. Here's frickin' Superman, the Man of Steel, and he's reduced to a frickin' man on spider legs. Yeah, this was stupid. Yeah, at least I at least got to praise this page here. I did a little Dan Jurgens to this page, but man, this page is really good. I like the artwork here. Yeah, apparently also Wayne Manor has been pretty much vaporized by Brother Eye. By the way, Brother Eye in post-Flashback continuity was designed by Bruce Wayne and and Michael Holt, aka Mr. Terrific. Yeah. And apparently, like, okay, the mansion's attacked by cybernized versions of the Batman Inc. Yeah. Seriously. So this version of Batman apparently dies. Yeah, but then later comes back where he's got Joker strapped to his head for reasons of stupidity. And then apparently Terry gets the pass, except that it's too late. They missed the target by 5 years. By the way, on this little billboard here, that's what Mr. Terrific looks like in this book. No, not kidding about that. Now, next up, basically, we have stuff with Grifter. Now, I don't count Grifter's appearances as basically publication, well, next appearances of Grifter, because technically when this came out, this was his first appearance since the end of his brief solo book. I don't count this because this is an alternate continuity. Same thing with Firestorm. Yes, also around the start of this book, Green Arrow apparently dies. Yep, he dies, though he actually is alive. And so Firestorm, well, this is, of course, Ronnie Raymond, being a complete jerk, decided to hold Jason Rush. He decided to stay as this for weeks as Firestorm. Heck, even gave him some beautiful ladies a tan. Yes, seriously. And, yeah, Batman Beyond just wondered about it a bit. Like, my opinion, one of my favorite plot, there's a few plot threads of this event I do enjoy. Take, for instance, Batman Beyond. I think his plot thread stuff was really good. Another plot thread I really enjoy is Green Arrow. I like this up with him. You're probably thinking, is there any plot threads in this book I don't like? Grifter seemed completely pointless. Yes. And Firestorm. One of my favorite DC characters, and yet his story is stupid. Really stupid. Yeah, all about paranoia. Yes. Oh, by the way, Alfred is a AI. Yep, an AI. Yeah, then we have Stormwatch. Yes, Stormwatch, who at their headquarters of the Carrier. Yes, the very ship which was basically their base operations in their ongoing series, which I believe was canceled just prior to this. Yes, they had just canceled the book after 30 issues. And they also have more Hawkmans on the team. Yes, why Hawkman's here? I don't know. Now, do I like the Stormwatch stuff? It's fine. I have no problem with the Stormwatch stuff. It's perfectly fine. I mean, so the one plot that I do agree is quite stupid is the stuff with the little girl. I find that to be quite stupid. Now, you might be asking, my opinion on this look for Firestorm, it's okay. I'm not really a big fan of it. I prefer the original Amalgam look. That's just my opinion. I wasn't reading Firestorm prior to New 52 relaunch. I read it after the New 52 relaunch. I mainly got into the character because of the creation of Jerry Conway. That was the reason for it. And I did read the ongoing series that Firestorm had prior to this. The book was canceled in 20 issues. And here's the weird thing about the book. Now, the first 12 issues, they had this thing where we have Firestorm being just one person like it normally is. Oh, let's just transform Jason Rush and Ryan Raymond into two separate Firestorms and have these like 50 of Firestorms and have a big humongous fight. And have this merger with the Firestorm, which is like this gigantic Firestorm creature. I think when Dan Jorgens himself took over the book with issue number 12. And I believe Gail Simone was red writer in this book. Yes, I think she left at a brief period of time. When Dan Jorgens got in the book, he basically made Firestorm a Firestorm book. Basically had it where the proper way. Instead of just, oh, let's have Jason Rush and Ryan Raymond touch and become two separate Firestorms. Instead of here become one straight Firestorm. Basically go back to the regular Firestorm people are more familiar with instead of the craziness that was before this. Yes, you might be asking, will I eventually review that Firestorm series? Yes, eventually. Yep. Oh, here's a fun fact for you. Guess how many trades Jason Rush run actually got a trade? In that 35 issue run, guess how many trades were released? One. No, seriously. One freaking trade for this whole run. Yep. So Green Arrow apparently is dead, though he actually is alive. So there's another thing I didn't like about this book is the Earth 2 stuff. Yes, and also for some reason, you might be asking my opinion about the Aquaman design for this book. It's fine. I have no problem with the Aquaman look. In the case of Mr. Terrific's look, per se, reminds me a lot of the Tasmanian Devil, the DC version of the character, the one who's an actual superhero, not the Looney Tunes character. That's what this look reminds me of. Yeah, I love the fact Animan is here. Now you might be thinking, the only reason why I think Animan is here, now I think all of his dialogue, and this is my opinion, I might confirm this when I meet Brian Azzarello in a couple weeks at Comic-Con, but I think this is all Jeff Lemire writing the Animan stuff. I will ask Brian Azzarello who wrote the Animan dialogue, but in my opinion, I think this was Jeff Lemire because he was the one who practically wrote the character. I love the dialogue for Animan in this book, and I love the Lemire run for Animan. It is by far my favorite books from the New 52 relaunch. That, in my opinion, was probably a mistake to cancel the book. Because when I heard, it was one of DC's best-selling books at the time of its cancellation. It was when it ended, it was to make room for Batman Eternal. But here's the thing. Animan was still featured in a comic book after that. Jeff made part of Justice League United. And he was part of that book throughout that entire run. Though Jeff Lemire did lead the book up 10 issues. Do not know why, though. I thought that was kind of weird. Oh, look. Here's Adam Strange in his Justice League United look. Though, there's another book I'm going to talk about here in Next Comic Corner where he actually is not wearing this outfit at all. Nope. Yeah, for some reason he stopped wearing it. He wears a different outfit here. Oh, by the way, Mr. Terrific has his tattoo on his back. Fair play. Oh, yeah, and Michael Holt is a freaking... I get the fact he's Olympian, but apparently this book made him to a bodybuilder for reasons. The stuff in here, Frankenstein, I love the Frankenstein stuff. I'm not sure who could have wrote that one. I mean, of the rares wrote this book, I probably could think Keith Giffen could have wrote this stuff, but not sure who wrote it. I will ask Azrael about that. He would know answer to this because he was one of the writers of this book. Now, Firestorm, I'm sure this is probably Dan Jurgens writing this, because it was probably either him or somebody else, because Jurgens was the guy who wrote the book basically prior to cancellation, so I wouldn't be surprised he wrote the dialogue. Kind of similar, basically, with anime written by, like, his dialogue written by Jeff Lemire. Similar. Yeah. And, of course, you're all sitting here with Tim Drake apparently being dead. Yeah. But don't worry, he's alive. He's basically he also has a girlfriend named Madison. Yes. Plastic, and she's a pretty interesting character, too. Yes. The Grifter stuff in here, I am not a fan of the Grifter stuff. Now, I have nothing against the Grifter character. I actually kind of like the Grifter series. This book does not utilize him very well. I think that his involvement in this book is completely pointless. Heck, I had this theory, once the book got canceled, he should probably make him part of Stormwatch. Because he's a Wildstorm character, so why the heck not part of Stormwatch? Oh, wait, they can't figure out anything with the character. Yep. There's also stuff in here with the Earth 2 stuff. Now, I have no problem with the Earth 2 characters. That one thing I did in the book I was not happy with in this book, though this is an alternate future, they killed Power Girl. They turned to a cyborg and kill her off. Yeah, I was not a fan of that at all. Oh, don't worry, we'll talk more about Power Girl soon. Don't worry about that. There's stuff in here with Shazam, and there's stuff in here with there's also here with Omax. Yes, by the way, this design for Omac, that was basically from the Dan Dio run for Omac. Yep, that's where this look came from. Yes. And, okay. Let's talk about this bozo. It's Superman. Yeah, but this is not Clark Kent. Oh no! They revealed this, like, right around issue 17. This is actually Billy Batson, aka Captain Marvel. Yes. For some reason, he decided to do this. In the book, he never gives a proper explanation for this. Not that I remember, anyways. Yeah. And he's here, basically, posing as Superman, while Clark is basically being a farmer. Yeah. Let's up here with Deathstroke. I thought that was kind of interesting, to say the least. Yeah, Deathstroke, along with Grifter, feels like a very pointless addition to this book. That's just my opinion, anyways. And with this stuff was really good. Hawkman, I really love. Plus, I love this page here of, supposedly, this is a line for Justice League in this continuity, where it's made up of Stormguard, who is a new character. I don't think he exists in the current continuity. I don't remember he does. Cyborg. I don't remember her name. She was from the Justice League United book. I love this character. My guess is the reason why she was included in this book, Lemire probably had a hand bringing her in. Roy Harper. This is probably Barry Allen. Jason Rush. And this all points basically the Firestorm stuff. Yes. This is actually one plot thread I remember. This got negative flack when this came out, when these issues were coming out. This actually was one plot thread a lot of people were not fans of at all. Nope. The Amethyst stuff was... I love the Amethyst stuff. Who could have wrote it, you might ask? I'm not sure about Ezra. I'm not sure who could have, but... This book... yeah. Artwork-wise, 10 out of 10. Awesome stuff. I think the artists do a great job with this book. The book itself, I'm going to give it... I want to be fair to it, because I'm going to see Brian Ezra in a couple weeks. I'm going to give it 8.5 out of 10. You're thinking, really? For one of the worst weekly books ever published by DC Comics? Yes. I want to be fair with this book because there's some interesting ideas I do like in here. Plus, I like the Batman Beyond stuff. I would not have been surprised, though, if, as Brian Ezra tells me, that Dan Jurgens was the one who wrote the Batman Beyond, given the fact he actually writes Batman Beyond after this. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the video. I have one video I'm going to do. I'll call it a night. Okay, if I do, bye.